Joe Biden has stated that if elected, this is what he will do in regards to the military budget, right? Take a look. Joe Biden says he may further increase military spending if elected. Uh-oh. Are you guys surprised, honestly? On the campaign trail, Joe Biden said Thursday that if elected president, he might increase military spending, even beyond the Pentagon's current record budget of $738 billion. Biden told Stars and Stripes, we have to focus more on unmanned capacity, cyber and IT, in a very modern world that is changing rapidly. I know what he means. He's talking about his buddy Barack's favorite little tools. Drone strikes, right? Because if a robot kills someone, then it's more humane, right? Amazing logic, right? Especially when 90% of people killed are civilians, had nothing to do with terrorism, right? How humane. How humane. You know, they talk about advancement in technology, but there's no advancement in humanity, right? That domain we forget about. I mean, is anyone surprised by this? This military budget, to call it bloated? I think we can find stronger terms than that. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that, you know, Halliburton and Raytheon and Lockheed Martin are having a ball. They're having a good time, right? They're preoccupied with AFRICOM. They got, 7-8 wars to deal with. Oh, yeah. And Joe Biden previously signaled that he would keep troops in Syria, right? So his foreign policy advisor said that, yes, Biden would keep U.S. troops in northeastern Syria as leverage. Leverage, northeastern Syria. What's in northeastern Syria? The oil. That's what they mean. Starve off the Syrian population of income. How is he any different from Trump? Can someone explain that to me? I mean, in this regard, he's worse than Trump. Trump increased the military budget, and the Democrats gave it to him, no strings attached. Once again, there's always bipartisanship when it comes to murder. And now Biden wants to go even further than that? Are you kidding me? And they call this guy part of the radical left. I mean, what a joke. Joe Biden is more right-wing than Trump in many ways, and that's not an understatement. That's not an exaggeration. This guy spent 50 years in government pushing right-wing policies. 50 years. Donald Trump doesn't really have an ideology. I mean, yes, he's a loudmouth racist, but he'll do anything to win, right? And as we saw with Hillary, and as we're seeing now with Biden, he'll come at them from the left if he has to, if it means winning. They're both shit, obviously, but they're both war criminals, obviously, but this is just insane. This is nuts. If you cut the U.S. military budget in half, you'd still be spending more than any other country. Right now, you're spending more than the next 10 countries combined. I mean, this is not about defense. This is not a defense budget, right? This is an imperialist piggy bank, right? Not to mention the trillions that have gone missing in the Pentagon from the DoD. Oh, la, la. And you can goddamn bet if he does get into the Oval Office, everybody, Republicans, Democrats, will help him do that shit. Oh, it's coming. If he says he's going to increase the military budget, you best bet it's going to happen. That's one campaign promise that Biden will deliver on. Oh, yeah. Everybody's on board with that. Everybody's on board with that. And you want me to believe that this guy is going to restore dignity to the Oval Office? He's going to restore the soul of the nation. Motherfucker, the soul of the nation is genocide. It's slavery. It's oppression. It's imperialism. So I guess he means that, if that's what he's talking about when he says restoring the soul of the nation. Disgusting. Shameless. And then here, Biden says U.S. must maintain small force in Middle East. Has no plans for major defense cuts. Motherfucker, who said you must? I mean, does this guy ever stop with his warmongering? He helps make the case for the Iraq war in the Senate and in public. Whips people into voting for it. Blocks expert witnesses from testifying against the war. And then gets into the Oval Office with Obama. Ramps it up from 2 wars to 7. Bombs my country. Completely destroys Syria. Troop surge in Afghanistan. And then he starts saying things like, oh, well, I was in charge of getting combat troops out of Iraq. And he makes it sound like a withdrawal. There's still U.S. troops and bases in Iraq. So it's still under occupation. Even if you phrase it as, oh, I got the combat troops out of there. I don't care what you call it. There's still U.S. troops. It's still under occupation. What the fuck are you doing there? This guy's a war criminal. I mean, is there a single industry that he has not, prostituted himself to, using his own words as he said he wanted to, as he sought to? Credit card industry, big pharma. And it's so funny because the other day on his Facebook page, he says he's going to stand up to big pharma. Bitch, how? You're going to stand up for big pharma. Yeah, that's what it's like. How are you going to stand up to big pharma? By not giving people health care and not putting caps on drug prices? Oh, wow. I bet they're so scared of you. The corrupt criminal justice system, the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex, the banks. Is there any sector that this guy hasn't helped out as a senator, as VP? Unreal. These forever wars have to end. Motherfucker, you started them. You helped to start them, you piece of shit. You remember him railing in the Senate of, oh, Saddam has nuclear weapons. And then 20 years later, it's like, oh, Bush tricked me. Motherfucker, if you got tricked by Bush, you're not fit to be anywhere near the Oval Office, okay? I don't buy that. There's videos of you saying that Iraq should be invaded and lying about weapons of mass destruction that don't exist. And then he comes and says, oh, the forever wars must end. You fucking started them, you asshole. What were you doing for 8 years in the Oval Office? I support drawing down the troops. Like he just lies in the next sentence. It's like, it's just separated by a single period. Drawing down is not withdrawing, okay? Ending military occupation. Those are two different things. Oh, but here's the problem. We still have to worry about terrorism in the Islamic State. Oh, yeah. You mean the terrorists that you helped to create and give rise to, right? God, these people are fucking unreal. It's like an arsonist telling you about the importance of, fire insurance and telling you, man, we should maybe call the fire department. That fire is looking pretty bad. And then, let's just add a little bit more gasoline for the time being. But, fires are really bad. I hate this guy so much. I really do. He's a disgusting war criminal. And you bring up the suffering that he's inflicted, that he's helped to craft and fuel upon dozens of countries. Millions of people killed and displaced since 9/11, with the war in Afghanistan, in Iraq, Syria, Libya, Yemen, Somalia. You think these people care? These people should be at Nuremberg Trials Part 2. Never mind The Hague, okay? Just straight to Nuremberg Trials Part 2. And they're trying to rehabilitate them in plain sight, like in broad daylight, like as if this guy had no role in the Iraq war. And no one questions it, And when I open my mouth And I talk about the suffering that's inflicted on the global south, and especially in Arab countries. My country, I haven't seen my country in 10 years, right? Haven't seen my family. Motherfucker, I haven't seen the sun in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Because of this asshole, this asshole right here, Joe Biden, and others like him, you know? And then the only response you get from neoliberals is, oh, shut your mouth. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about it. Look, man, if the truth about these people makes you uncomfortable, that's an indictment on them, not me. Don't start victim blaming. Don't start shooting the messenger. Don't start critiquing the content. No, critique the perpetrator. Okay? Talk about dignity, the soul of the nation. Fuck out of here, man. Trying to rehabilitate war criminals in our faces. You know, just like they brought Colin Powell and all these other ghouls to the goddamn convention. They just in plain sight. In plain sight, right? They don't care about nothing. Unreal.